time over the next about 10 weeks. And just stay tuned. And tonight basically is an introductory class. It's just to set our expectation and show us what to expect over the coming weeks, and to basically whet our appetite on the facilitators, type of the facilitators we'll be having, and the things that we'll be talking about in the days to come. Thank you, everyone. Saying all the welcome. I appreciate you. It's good to be in the room with you all tonight. So tonight we're talking about driving growth for your business. And like Sam already said, this will be a 10 weeks journey. And to kick this off, I just want to say, first of all, that I celebrate you. And that's every single person in the room tonight, all the 95 participants at the moment that we have in the room tonight. I celebrate you. It's not easy to run a business. And in fact, in the times we are in, it's even a lot more challenging to be an entrepreneur and to run a business. Businesses are facing, I don't want to say a hell of a time, let's say heaven of a time, because we know that in everything, there will probably always have reasons to be thankful. There's probably things to still look out for and the opportunities that still come along. But these times have been really tough on businesses, from travels to hospitality, to events, all the way. Businesses have been going through a tough time. I was going through some statistics that says even for major companies like CSD companies, and CSD being carbonated sugary drinks, like you have your Coke and your Pepsi and all of that. These guys are down in terms of revenue by 30%. For companies like breweries who sell your beers and all, sales is down by like 50%. And we have organizations that sales is down by even as much as 100%. And when you look at like airlines and all of that, if you look at just even the event ecosystem, and it's interesting that how just one thing powers so many people. When you think about events, the fact that we cannot even have events. When you think of events, you are thinking about, so if you think of a typical wedding, you can imagine how many SMEs are involved in that process, from the oil that they will use, to the hairdresser that will make the hair, to the makeup artist that will get the hair, that will get the makeup done, to the photographer, to the videographer, to the person that will set up the stage or decoration, to the caterer, is a whole ecosystem, to the person that will bake the cake. A whole ecosystem at the moment is on shutdown and on lockdown, and people are, some people are in a state of confusion. Some people are even tired. People don't know what to do and all of that. But we believe that, this phase will pass, and hopefully very soon. As we all know, things are gradually going back to normal. And I think this is the time really to begin to get our acts together, get the knowledge we need, get the opportunities that are possible to ensure that we can power up when things begin to settle down. And so I just want to celebrate you for running a business at this time. I think it's one of the challenging moments that many of us have been through just in our lifetime. And I just want to celebrate you for staying in there, for keeping faith, for staying alive, for staying strong, and knowing that things would definitely get better. And as we commit ourselves to knowledge and just be opening our minds, to what is possible, I know that a lot of things will come our way in the days to come. Okay, so I just wanted to put that ahead. Someone said the makeup artist doing a 20% discount last week. Yeah, you were amazed that, even some of these people, there are still opportunities. I remember just a few days ago, we had a small photo shoot in my organization. I've been preparing to just set up a website, and we had to get a makeup artist to show up. And so I think one of the things as well that you find out that even though you might not necessarily be selling as much, you want to ensure that you are still top of mind. You want to ensure that you are still communicating. You want to ensure that you are still speaking to your customers. You are still engaging your customers. Because when this is over, I will call on the people I can remember. I will call on the people that, that are in my RAS, that, that are top of mind for me. And so as a business, even if your business is not currently making money, is not currently in the center of things, it is not the time to keep quiet. it's still the time to continue to engage with your customers. Check on them. If you have, a database of your regular customers, check on them, send them SMS, and ensure you continue to be top of mind for them. So first things first tonight is I just want to celebrate everyone for being a business owner at this time and for keeping the fort. All right. So quickly this evening, I would like us to just do a quick exercise, and I will just try to catch have an idea of those of us in the room. So just quickly use the chat box and your name, the type of business you do, how long you have been doing it for, and what your expectations are for this journey. And I'll talk about what our expectations are as well from this end, what we see is possible in this journey as well for all of us. And so, yeah, let's use the chat box quickly tonight. What is your name? What type of business do you do? And how long have you been doing that business? And what your expectation is generally for this period in terms of what we'll be covering in the days to come. And I will share all of that with you shortly. All the things we'll be running through in the next few weeks, and how you don't want to miss any of them. So just to get a sense of the kind of businesses we all do and how long we have been doing it for, please let's use the chat box. It will be good to have a sense. I'm seeing just our names, not just names. What business do you do? And how long have you been doing the business for? I think that's is to get a sense of the type of business we do and how long we have been doing it for. Okay. I see Peace, Green Mondays. So you're a distributor for a consumer goods company. So yes, that's a business. I have been doing that for 9 months. Welcome, Peace. I've seen a couple of names, but I can't see the business you do or how long you have been doing it for. Okay. I see Diana Inola for 7 years, sales and network marketing as well. Okay, good. So distributor for a consumer goods company as well. Branding. So someone runs a branding business. I'm doing it for like 10 years. Someone says event design and consultant and professional network marketer. Someone says solar inverter system design and installation for 2 years. Okay, awesome. Diagnostic laboratory for 5 years. Wow, awesome. Seeing a whole range of businesses. Amazing. Events and publishing. Doing it for 25 years. Wow. Web development for 15 years. Wow. Wow. Awesome. 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 Own a driving school. Okay. I'm doing that for about 9 years. Okay. Snacks and drinks and a healthy living store. Doing it for close to 2 years as well. Sales of flour. Okay. Awesome. Interior decoration. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, good. Traveling agency. All right, Mr. Samuel. Wow. Okay. Wow. We have a whole range of businesses. So this should be really, really exciting for us. Okay. Good. 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 It's good to have a sense of this. We even have a proprietor for a school. 18 years, fashion business, paintings, movers, market research consulting. Awesome. We have a whole range. Amazing. Okay, good. So it's good to know. And over the next few weeks, we'll be unpacking this. I think we'll probably also share a form with us just to be able to capture all of this information as well. And be able to guide the facilitators who are going to be sharing with us in the days to come on the type of businesses we have in the room, so that we can have specific examples and relatable examples that connects with the businesses we all do. And we can speak to that and speak specifically to those things as examples. All right, thanks everyone. You can still keep sharing. I'll keep looking at it as we go along. All right, so our own expectation and the things that we expect that will happen as a result of this class is that, of course, one is increased knowledge. Like we always say, you will remain the same person you are today in 5 years' time, except for two things: the books you read and the people you meet. And so I expect increased knowledge and increased connections. Someone says that we really seldom achieve success beyond our level of personal development. Because success is what we attract by the person that we are becoming. We seldom achieve more success than the level of our personal development. because success is what we achieve by the person that we are becoming. And so one of the things I believe that with this class will also do for us is this, development in terms of our knowledge. And as we increase in knowledge and increase in connections, you find out that you suddenly get you get lucky. You get more lucky. There's a word like that because you are getting access to more. And success is what you attract by the person you are becoming. So once again, thumbs up for everyone who is in the room tonight. A lot is going to be possible from this class. Also for your business, I expect that from the knowledge you'll be getting from this class and the connections as well, they'll be good for your business in terms of revenue, in terms of profitability, and all the key index metrics that you might use to measure growth for your business as well. And just generally as well, impact for the society. For every, there's this data I like a lot. For every 1% increase in entrepreneurship, poverty declines by 2%. For every 1% increase in entrepreneurship activity in the nation, poverty declines by 2%. And for me, I find that very powerful because that means that as a nation, we are counting on you as business owners. The nation is counting on us as business owners to be able to get poverty even to decline. Because as businesses grow, we are able to offer employment to more people. And if we're able to offer employment to more people, what happens is those people are able to access income, and that income is also able to take care of their own families. And just by that, what happens is you are taking a number of people who used to be boxed in poverty outside of that realm as well. And so doing business just goes beyond, I just want to make money. At the end of the day, we're also making impact for the society. So as a country, we are counting on you to succeed in your business because by doing that, there's a lot that is possible even for us as a nation. And Nigeria, we believe, we pray will be great in our lifetime. And for that to happen, it will depend on you and I, and of course, on the policies and all that the government puts in place. But a lot begins with us. A lot can happen with us if we play our part, do our role, and as Africans, we don't. Someone says that a typical African is an entrepreneur. We're thinking how to add value. We're thinking how to do business. We're thinking how to make things happen. And by doing that, we are looking out for opportunities, and we're trying to create stuff for ourselves to take care of ourselves and our families. So this is our expectation for the course of these 10 weeks. We believe you have increased knowledge, increased connections, good for your business, and also impact for the society. And so this, like we said earlier, this is 10 weeks of life and business transforming teachings. There will be certification as well. And so as we go along, we'll have assignments because we want it to be very practical. And so there will be things you will need to do in your business, give us feedbacks, and just to be sure that you're moving along with the training as well, and you're implementing the things that you are learning. All of these things will have happened. Funding opportunities. CM will share some of those things with us as we go along as well. And of course, just the fact that this would open up for you new vistas of opportunities and partnerships. We hope that will happen as we connect as a class in the days to come. All right. So I will just jump into the key things to expect over the next 10 weeks. I will share some of the topics we'll be sharing with us and the people that will be facilitating these sessions with us. So for you to have an idea of the robustness of people that will be sharing with us in terms of their profile, what they have done, and what difference they can make in our business journey. All right. We'll begin. We'll have one of the sessions I will be covering, and it's all about understanding. We'll be understanding a number of things as we go along, and we'll be talking about understanding your markets. And this is very crucial. I believe that many times we jump into business without understanding the market where we operate. And what happens is we either, end up in doing the wrong things, or we end up not maximizing the possibilities because we don't have an idea of what is possible in the markets where we operate. And so, you are looking at what is your total addressable market, what is your serviceable addressable market, what is your serviceable obtainable market. All of these things we'll discuss, so don't mind the terms. We'll discuss them in detail and look at them. And so even if you're already doing business, just understanding them will help you even restructure and plan better how to do things for your business. I remember someone was sharing back then, and that before we had telcos coming to Nigeria, Vodafone sent in a team to do some market research. From that market research, they discovered that, Nigeria is a predominantly poor nation, and all of those, key statistics. And that if you come in and you set up your your mobile, you set up your telecommunication outfit, you probably run at a loss and things might not go as planned. And Vodafone saw that data and decided not to come to Nigeria. But then MTN also got access to the same data. And what MTN did was, rather than just conclude on that data, they sent in 3 of their top executives to come into the country and understand the markets themselves. And so these guys came into the market, went into hotels, went into clubs, related with Nigerians, flew from city to city, engaged people, and realized that, guys, we need to enter Nigeria. That poverty thing, yes, there's a segment of the country that is poor, but there's also a segment of the market that we have a serviceable, obtainable market that is good enough to ensure that we can be profitable. And that was what informed their decision to come into Nigeria. And according to facts, they said MTN became profitable almost from the first year. And so just by getting a good understanding of the market, made them take a leap that today they are enjoying. And today, in terms of market capitalization, MTN is the biggest in Nigeria. Revenue was over 1 trillion naira last year. So in terms of revenue, in terms of market cap, MTN is number 1 in Nigeria at the moment. And all because they decided to understand their market and be able to take action by it. And so these are things we'll discuss. We'll be having Lanre share with us, Lanre Bazamta. Lanre has some amazing experience as head of brands and marketing for System Specs, which is the technology company in Nigeria that powers Remita. Some of us are very familiar with the Remita brand, even though we might not be familiar with their mother company called System Specs. And so Larry headed marketing for them. He also went to head marketing for Sidmark Technologies. Sidmark as well powers the technology used by Jamb. A number of us might not know that as well. And so these are like top companies doing great things in the B2B tech area in Nigeria. And then he went to become the country business marketing officer for Cellulant. And today he heads the mobile financial services for InterSwitch. And he'll be sharing with us on understanding your market and the difference that this will make in how we do things. And we'll be looking at this, even from a strategic point of view, using frameworks that can help us really understand this and be able to make quality decisions in the business that we do. And be able to grow the things that are currently in our hands. So get ready to learn and to be able to apply the knowledge that will come along with this. Next, we'll also be talking about understanding your audience. And this session is, I'm sure this is going to be a really powerful session. Our audience, customers are the lifeblood of every business. And if you don't understand them, you are not able to make the most of them, and you're not able to get the most value out of them. And customers we as customers, all of us are customers, yeah. So we all know how we engage different brands, and customers can be different people at different times, and and that's why it's important to understand them. I remember Adeola will be sharing with us on this topic, or sharing with me how they were conducting a research. And in this research, he went to a particular club and was interviewing people who drink, and he was trying to do some research for a brewery. And this guy was drinking Heineken, and he asked him, what is this the brand you normally drink? And he says, yes, so I'm an Heineken guy. I always drink Heineken. And he talked about Heineken very passionately during this interview session. And he said that a few weeks later, he was driving by a particular area, and he saw this same guy that I interviewed, drinking trophy. And he said he parked and came down and said, sorry, sir, I would like to see you. And he said, do you remember me? He said, yeah. And he said, but a few weeks ago, you told me that you only drink Heineken. And the guy said, my guy, you have to be different things at different times. That day I was with my colleagues at work, and you have to form a particular class. Today I'm with my G's, I'm with my own boys, and we drink trophy. So this is the one customer, but this customer is one thing at one time, and it's another thing at another time. And understanding this helps you even in knowing how to structure your communication. Understanding this even helps you understand what share of his wallet you can get. There are so many things that comes along with understanding your audience. Another interesting research, I just use even local examples, was one that was also done, that a blind taste test was done with a number of people here in Lagos, just along using the bottom of the pyramid. And so they went to the bottom of the pyramid and did a blind taste test for 3 drinks. And you talk about Coke, Pepsi, and Biggie. And so they gave these guys the opportunity. They poured these drinks in a cup, but people did not know what was inside those cups. And so the people tasted it and they all drank it. And the majority of people preferred the taste of Biggie. And it's funny. They preferred the taste of Biggie when they drank it. So everybody just drank things. They didn't know what was inside. They just drank these things, and everybody said, this one tastes good. This one tastes good. But then they now brought out the drinks and their packaging for them, and everybody said no, they don't like Biggie. It's Coke. Like, no, guy, you just drank this, and all of a sudden people were disconnecting themselves from the taste that they said they like, because now they can see the brand, now they can see all of these things. And these are things to understand about your audience. The fact that we're aspirational, the fact that even though they are poor today and there are things that they will do because they are poor, does not mean that they want to stay there. And so everybody is looking forward to the day that they can use an iPhone. And so if you are positioning yourself as the brand for the poor guy, the day that they go up the ladder, they abandon you and leave you to the people at the bottom of the ladder as well, and they move on with their own lives. And one of the interesting things that study showed was that, when you don't even drink something often, I mean, the reason why you maybe say, okay, if they did it for me, I will be able to pick out Coke, is maybe because you drink Coke regularly. But if you're at the bottom of the pyramid and this is something you take very, sparingly, or maybe in parties and once in a while, then, your taste is just whatever comes to you. And these are things we need to really look at. And so we'll be talking comprehensively about understanding your audience, because it helps you position what your offerings will be. It helps you position what your communication will be, and it helps you ensure that you can get the best value out of them. The way you would talk to a 40-year-old educated woman to buy something from you, it will be different from the way you would talk to a 40-year-old uneducated person to buy something from you. The way you would talk to someone who lives in Lagos, it definitely might be different from the way you have to talk to someone who lives in Kano. And this is why you need to really understand your audience and be able to get the most out of them. So we'll be having Adeola Kayode, who has gone through, was as a consultant at Alda Consulting, he was lead consultant at Telus Consulting, and today he leads the marketing strategy and analytics team for Insight Publicities, which is the longest standing advertising agency in Nigeria. You'll be sharing with us, and so these are going to be powerful sessions, and just get ready. We also talk about understanding your offering. If you understand, and we talk about the 4 P's of marketing. You talk about your product, your place, your price, your promotion, and Tony will be talking to us about your product and what you offer to your audience. And so once you understand your market, once you understand your audience, the next question is, what are you offering these guys? Yeah, what are you offering these guys, and how do you ensure that you offer it in the way that they want? Okay, they are based on your audience. If you package, if you are targeting the value for money segment, there are things you can get away with. But if you are packaging for the top of the pyramid, there are things you need to be cognizant about. There are things you need to add into your mix to ensure that your offering can be accepted by them. And so just by understanding your audience, you are able to better target what your offering will be to them in order to ensure that they get it and they buy from you. Today, you will never see an Apple advert an Apple advert or a Samsung advert, even at that, in Okokomaiko or in Alagbado. and it's simply because they have an understanding of their audience, they have an understanding of where they are, and they will understand. From there, you are able to know, okay, what offering do we target at the people that we want to reach? And so when you understand your audience, you're able to better target your offerings to them, and you're able to better organize what your offerings will be as well. So after Tony has been business analyst for the current company, part of the Insights Publicist Group. She was brand manager for Nature's Gentle Touch, of course, where she led efforts on the brand, on the product to the marketplace, business manager for Octopus Marketing, and today she's business manager for Brand Regimen, and she'll be sharing with us about understanding your offering and ensuring that whatever business that we do, whether it's farm produce or is baking, or or is pharmaceutical, or you are doing organic soap, all of these things, how do you better package what you're doing for the audience that you're trying to get, and to be able to ensure you can get the most value out of them. So watch out for this. It's going to be an amazing session as well in the days to come. Next, this is going to be an exciting class as well. I'm looking forward to this myself. And this is talking about understanding your branding. And many times we always take branding for granted. And branding is such a powerful tool in today's business environment. Your brand is your promise that you make to your customer. And someone says that brand is a product or service with a reputation. You become a brand when your product or a service has a reputation. And branding has to do with association. When people think about you, are there things that they associate you with? So if I say to you today, Jack, Jack might not necessarily mean a lot to you, but then if I say to you maybe Jack Ma, then you begin to form associations around that. And because you're able to form associations around that, Jack Ma has become a brand to you. Because when you think about Jack Ma, you can think about wealth, you can think about e-commerce, you can think about Alibaba, you can think about a number of things, you can think about technology, you can think about a whole range of things. And that means he has effectively become a brand. And so branding works for you as a person, and of course it works for the businesses that you run as well. I think about a few years ago, Lipton, and Lipton, went into partnership. I'm trying to not Lipton. A few years ago, which this company? What's the name of this company again? Sir?
This 7-Up and Lipton.
Okay, so for 7-Up and Lipton, they went into a partnership. Yeah, so Starbucks, awesome. Starbucks and Nestle. So Nestle has been trying to enter into the ready-to-drink coffee segment, and they've been struggling at it. And what they did eventually was to pay to use the Starbucks brand name on their products for the ready-to-drink coffee line. And they paid Starbucks $7.2 billion just to be able to use the name Starbucks. This is not buying the coffee. This is not the anything. This is just for the right to be able to use the name Starbucks on their coffee. And so today you have ready-to-drink coffee brands that is being marketed and sold by Nestle, but carries the Starbucks name. But they paid $7.2 billion for that name. Today, the Apple name, if you want to pay for the Apple name alone, will cost you about $200 billion just for the Apple name alone. And this is what branding means. And many times we just feel, you know what, let's just start this business, do it any which way, make the small money we can make, let everybody go home. But if we really want to build something long-term that can outlive you and I, that we can put, leave aside for our children, for generations to come, we need to go beyond just selling a product. We need to go into building a brand. And building a brand, ladies and gentlemen, is serious business. And I'm excited that we have a seasoned brand manager who will be sharing with us on this topic. Sheum started his career at Procter & Gamble as assistant brand manager. He became the brand manager in Nigeria as well, went to India, Middle East, and Africa to become the brand manager as well for this region, for the EMEA region. And today he is the group brand manager for P&G in Nigeria. He has tremendous experience in building a brand. He has managed brands like Ariel, brands like Pampers, and all this thinking it will bring to you for you to be also to be able to apply to the different brands that you run for the different businesses that we do. So guys, this is going to be powerful. We want to ensure that at the end of this, what you'll be taking out is real knowledge and practical knowledge that you can apply, and you can be able to begin to grow something that will stand the test of time. It's not enough that we're building a business. We need to build a brand. And all of this we will learn from understanding your market, to your audience, to your offering, to your branding. All of this we'll be talking about in the days to come. I see someone talking about fashion designing, for example, someone saying, I do general goods, some of these things. We would now talk about how do you ensure that you position effectively your company or your product or your service in the mind of the consumer. Positioning is what you will do in the minds of the consumer. So when people remember your brand, what association does comes to their mind? That in a nutshell is what brand is all about. I will be unpacking all of that in the days to come. And so when you think Coke, there's a feeling that you get. And that's why even people that will say they want Biggie in a blind taste test, when they see the brand, they want to associate with the brand Coke and not with the brand Biggie. And so when you think about Biggie, there's a different set of feeling as well that comes to mind as well. If you think about Apple, there's a feeling, there are emotions, there are things that come to mind, for you as well. When you think about techno, there are things that also comes to mind. So how do we ensure that we are building the brand that we want for the audience that we want to reach? And this we'll also be talking about in the days to come. So guys, like I said, it's going to be really, really amazing over the next few weeks. Next, we go to understanding your pricing. And this is also a very important topic. Because many times there's a disconnect between what you are trying to position and even the pricing that you are charging. And things are done very deliberately. I remember Burberry, there's a premium brand called Burberry that sells bags and all. And Burberry, they never offer a discount. Never. And the word is never. So this is a luxury brand and they never do discounts. And so there are things that they've had to sell for a while that maybe is out of fashion. Rather than offer it at a discounted price, do you know what Burberry does? They set it on fire. So they pack all these bags and all these things that they didn't sell. And rather than say, for people that maybe they would love to have a Burberry but they cannot afford it, they can as well say 50% off. Come and buy it, and people will rush and buy it. But rather than do that, they set those bags literally on fire. And all of this is about, the positioning that they want to have in the mind of their audience. And this is consistent as well, with the pricing that they put on their product. And so for them, because we are luxury, because we are premium, you can never hear us saying we are offering a discount. It doesn't happen. It will never happen. And so all of this, by understanding your offering, understanding your audience, someone says selfish people. They are not selfish. They are just being deliberate about what they are building. And this is why we as well must approach our business. So, if you say today that what I'm selling is 10,000 naira, and I say, when we go to the market, that's the reality. So that when you go to the market and you say, how much is this thing? And I remember when I was young as well, when we go to the market with my mom, they say, how much is this thing? They say it's 100 naira. And of course, most women I know, the starting point is always divided by 2. And sometimes I'm always in shock. And they say, someone says, how much is this thing? It says 1,000 naira. And my mom goes, she got my 500 naira. In my mind just goes, Jesus. Like, how do you go from 1,000 all the way to 500 naira? And, interestingly, sometimes people will sell it eventually. And in fact, that thing might even be bought at 350 at the end of the day. And I'm wondering, wow, and there are places that you and I will enter, and we don't even have the luxury of negotiating. The price is this price, and that is the price, and there's no story attached. If you can't pay it, you leave. Nobody enters a Ferrari store and says, this car is too expensive. No, you're in the wrong place. You should be going to Toyota. You should be going to Toyota, so just by understanding who our audience is, understanding our branding and where we want to position in the mind of this audience, all of this must impact our pricing. And this does not need, you don't need to be an Apple to do this. I remember someone said that he went to go and barb his hair in a particular salon. And when he got there, him and his friend, they went to barb their hair. And the guy says, I barb for 2,000 naira. And they were like, no, 2,000 to cut hair. What happened? And they were negotiating with the guy. The guy said, sorry guys, I can't, this is 2,000. I don't charge less than 2,000. And decided talking up and down, you know what? We don't have up to that. So we have 3K. We are something. But we need to barb tonight. We can't. I think maybe they were in a place where they couldn't even go around again. So it was like, guy, just help us. And what the guy said was, you know what? No problem. I will barb for you at 2,000 naira, and I will barb for your friend free of charge. And so just take it as complimentary from me to you, because okay, your first time, and maybe just build a relationship with you, but I'm not going to charge you less than 2,000 naira. So I'm going to collect 2,000 from you, so you are the person I'm barbing for, and I'm doing this complimentary for you. And that's just the best I can do for you. And this guy could have collected 3,000 naira and say, okay, 1,515. He said no. For him, this is my price, and rather than saying you have put him at a discounted price, I know that I dashed you, I gave you. And so we don't need to be an Apple to be deliberate about how we approach things. And of course, pricing is also not done in isolation. Pricing is all about value. And today, people say that you don't talk about 4Ps again, talk about SIVA. SIVA speaking about your solutions, and V stands for value. That what drives your pricing is not just shouldn't just be anything. It's what value am I adding? What experiences am I creating? And those are the things that command my pricing. And when people buy an Apple, there's a whole range of feeling that comes with it. There's a whole range of pride that comes with it. And all that is reflected in the pricing. And sometimes as well, when you buy a phone, like someone that says that, he bought an Apple for 10,000 naira. And it says the thing has been charging and it has not finished charging for 24 hours, because he didn't buy an Apple, you bought at Balumo, because the experience needs to match what you're charging. So price is not what you do in isolation, it's what you do in connection with it, with these other things that we're going to be talking about in the days to come. And we're going to be having one of Nigeria's finest photographers. His pricing will humble you as well, because he understands his value and he places a fact on that. He was a consultant at Accenture, and so you know that this is someone top brain, top intelligence, who is going to be sharing with us on pricing. And because he does photography, which is also a service space as well. And for many of us who are in service space, you're able to understand, how do I price effectively? Many people especially would do service. So who, if you have a product, I sell a phone, you can say this is the price. But many times, maybe what you do is just your intellect, and maybe you need to put together. Someone said that I design websites. How do you place a price on that? And people just charge you up and down, because they feel or you do graphic design, and someone says, it's not just to carry some pictures from the internet and put it together and put color on it. Why are you calling 10,000 naira? Why are you calling 50,000 naira? But it is what it is, and you need to be able to know who is your audience and be able to speak to that audience. So get ready. Pricing will also be an exciting class that we should be looking forward to in the days to come. Many of us know Ife Oluwadare Johnson. If you're in the green community, she'll also be sharing with us on understanding your channels. Yeah, Ife will be sharing with us on that. Ife currently is the head of marketing for Better Car. She's been head of marketing for SynLab, and of course she's been with A2W as well for a few years, and as well. So for those of us who are in the green community, a number of us know her, and she'll be bringing a lot of value to the table in talking about understanding your channels. We have customers, and these customers are in specific places where we can reach them. Some of us are trying to reach our customers in the wrong places. Yeah, and this is why channels are important. And sometimes as well, just as a result of your of your branding and this and the story and the consistency in your story, there are places where you are not even everywhere. So for example, the two places where you can experience Apple as a brand is on their website and in their stores. And all those things are very deliberate because of the kind of brand that they are building as well. And so for you, depending on the kind of things that you do, how do you reach your customer? Where are your customers? Some of us, you are trying to reach 60-something-year-olds in your business, but you are trying to target them on Instagram. You are in the wrong place because they are not there. Yeah. Some of us, maybe you are trying to target teenagers and you are trying to target them on Facebook. You are in the wrong place because they are not there. And so just understanding your channels, where are my customers and where can I reach them? And this is why we're talking about your channels. So whether it's your website, whether it's your social media pages, whether it's ATL, TV, print, where are your customers and how do you reach them? How do you know those channels that you need to reach your customers in? These are things we'll be talking about in understanding your channels because it's important that we know. There's something that we do, we call it the day in life of the customer. And so if you look at your customer, what is the day in life of your customer? When your customer wakes up, what does the person do? How does the person go to work? What time does the person go on break? What does the person do when they're on break? How does the person engage media? And so by understanding this, when should I target my hands at this person? And just in talking about understanding your audience, when we talk about that, we talk about your buyer, your buyer persona. Who is your ideal customer? Many times we want to talk to everybody, but we are very wrong in doing that. Who is your ideal customer? Today, if Coke or Pepsi, all these guys, they don't talk to something-year-olds. They talk to 18 to 24-year-olds. That is their primary audience. Those are the guys they are talking to. And so you see them talking about showing students on campus. Those are the things that they show you in their adverts. And they're talking about inspiring happiness, with connecting people. And what you find out is that does not stop a 60-year-old, that does not stop a 40-year-old from drinking Coke, because the people you see on TV when they advertise it, an 18 to 24-year-old, does not mean that others will not experience your brand. Indomie, for example, will target kids. They are not talking to 60-year-old. They're not talking to to people like you and me. They are talking to children in their advertisement, and it's deliberate because they know that children will pester their parents to get them what they want them to buy for them. And all these are deliberate. I remember someone was talking about it. They have a Bonvita brand, the Bonvita brand, and how what they did back then in one of their strategies was to go to, it was Milo. And what they did back then was to go to schools, because when they came in a little bit after Bonvita. Bonvita was already reigning. And what they did was they went into schools. They were giving them free samples, doing all sorts for them. They were getting them involved in sports, supporting them. And so these children will go with samples to their houses. And in time, all these parents started buying Milo for their children. And all of this is just being us clarity about your audience and where to reach them and what to get them to do as a result of that as well. And these are the things we'll be talking about in the days to come. These are pretty, pretty important stuff. All right. And then in closing as well, some of the people these are the facilitators we'll be having. And of course, myself, Wale Osideinde, I'll also be sharing with us. I'll be part of almost every session. I've just been able to ensure that we can get the most value out of everyone. And so every session will be about 90 minutes. And in those 90 minutes, we'll have 1 hour of teachings and 30 minutes of questions. And this is where you want to ensure you are getting the best value, because you want to ask questions that relates to your business and how you can get value out of it. We want to be very practical so that you can have things to implement in your business and start seeing value from them. We'll talk about understanding your metrics. How do you measure the impact of the things that you're doing? I'll talk about understanding your communication. What are the things to say to your customers? Yeah, so it's not enough that you understand your audience. It's not enough that you understand your channels. But so now I know who I'm talking to. Now I know where they are. I also need to know, what do I say to them? Yeah, what do I say to them? And you see, clarity about these things helps you position. There's a brand I love so much. It's called Bang & Olufsen. I don't know how many of us know them, but they're an electronics brand, and they do all sorts of electronics from speakers and all of that. They put them in the market. And in one of their communications in Nigeria, so these guys, their customer is the top tier, like they talk to the top top 1% or top 2% of the country. They are talking to the top, the upper class, and those are the people they are talking to. So in their communication, they are talking to those guys. Yep. If someone says expensive speakers, yes, because they know their audience, and those are the guys they're talking to. In one of their ads, they wrote, make it again, then make it again, then buy a Bang & Olufsen. In another one, they wrote, if you still have a boss, you don't need a Bang & Olufsen. So, and these are deliberate ways to speak to the people that they want to talk to. So they believe that if you still have a boss at work, our brand is not for you. And of course, those are also very provocative, because some people who cannot even afford it will not be going to look for the money to buy it because they want to prove a point, and all those kind of things. But they are very deliberate about who they are talking to. And you and I as well, we can't be talking to everybody. We need to understand, if I'm selling a product that is 15,000 naira, there's a way I must talk, and there are people I must talk to get them to drive the value. If I'm selling a brand that is 1 million naira, there are people I must talk to, and be able to reach them in the way that would drive them to action. This clarity about these things is very, very important. And whether it's your pricing, your communication, all of these things comes together to help us ensure that we get the most value out of our business. So this is what we're talking about over the next 10 weeks. I was talking to CM earlier that maybe we'll also add in understanding your finance, because I think one of the things as well that destroys businesses very fast is also just financial management, and how we mismanage our funds and all of those things. I think that's something we might also look at infusing as we round this up in the days to come. So guys, get ready, everyone. It's going to be an amazing time over the next 10 weeks. Every Saturday from 7 to 8:30, we'll be talking around all these discussion points, week in, week out. So come in with your questions, come in ready to learn, and come in ready to do. If you want to get more out of our businesses, we must be ready to put in more knowledge, put in more. And sometimes it's not just about working harder. It's about working smarter, getting the right information, applying them strategically, and being able to get the results that we desire from them. So yeah, this is going to be the journey over the next 10 weeks. I'm excited to be on this journey with you all, and I'll be available every week in, week out, to engage our facilitators alongside all of us to get the best value out of what we're doing. We'll also be having assignments, and that's why we have the Google Classroom, so that we can ensure that we are practically applying what we are learning, and at the end, we can even offer certifications to people. And by the time you are even done with this, I'm sure you can become a mini consultant in your own right, to also guide other businesses around you on what to do as well. So this is the journey for the next 10 weeks. Thank you everyone for joining tonight. I think we still have a few announcements that CM needs to make for to us, but I'm happy to be with you all, and I look forward to the next 10 weeks of learning, of sharing, and of making an impact and growing your businesses. See you. Thank you very much. Over to you, CM.
Thank you very much, Wale. Very good. I'm sure we have learned some exciting things already. I'd like you to, if you have enjoyed that session, just type yes in the window there. Aha, okay, or awesome, or show an emoticon.